Nicki Minaj is still going off and she ain't letting up off the gas. She said, "Isn't it funny how G0ES claims they kept trying to convince others that she was crazy?" She's talking about Dësíst's daughter because they got a lawsuit. She said even had paid medical professionals and fake Nike reps involved doing mental assessments on her without her permission. Isn't it odd that Dësíst's own daughter is claiming they kept making false statements to get her into a mental facility? Isn't it funny how they kept trying to say Dësíst's black son-in-law was abusing her daughter to get him falsely imprisoned? Remember the 3 times my home was swatted, claiming a man in the home had a gun? Does this not all sound familiar to what did and what is happening to me? Isn't it funny how they have all the mangy dogs using their trigger words now against me? Crazy, not in a right mind, the same words she used about her daughter. Dësíst, I'm not your daughter, you stupid obsessed hoe. You hoping and praying all the truth don't come out, huh? It's over for you. The hand of the Lord is against you. I guess some people are happy knowing other families are being harassed and tormented, followed, hacked, stolen from, etc. But when the ish start to smear on its own front yard, they mad. I guess they thought they was effing exempt. Okay, so Nicki Minaj must have spoke with G0ES, which is Dësíst's daughter, and she has gotten the tea. But do she got the receipts to sue? Okay, I'm glad that she got the tea, but we need the receipts to sue. Okay, Nicki? Because if all of this is happening, you definitely need to get justice, or it's never going to stop. It's not going to stop until you take it to court. Now, with that being said, even though Nicki Minaj is clearly being targeted, allegedly Camel Face is looking into a legal way for Nicki Minaj to stop mentioning his name. And Camel Face and Devil Nation are not shy of sending out cease and desist. Okay, Camel Face is trying to send a cease and desist to Nicki Minaj. So, hopefully Nicki can be careful, because allegedly she will be receiving a cease and desist like she received one for that documentary she was trying to drop. That documentary never came out because Nicki Minaj got that cease and desist. You cannot talk about our client, Weak Mill. Okay, and I already spilled that tea. So, Nicki, before you receive that cease and desist, because allegedly Devil Nation is coming to hand you one, I suggest you take this to court. That way they cannot use their legal and their political connections to keep you quiet. Okay? Because once that cease and desist gets sent and you open it, you receive it, you won't be able to talk about Camel Face. Okay? A cease and desist prevents people from talking about people that don't want you to have their name in their mouth. Okay? So, Nicki, take it to court before you get that cease and desist. That's all I'm going to say. I'm trying to help Nicki. I don't want you to get that cease and desist and then you can't sue. Well, she still could sue, but, she won't be able to publicly speak about Camel Face. She still could sue, but she won't be able to publicly speak about him. So before that happens, take it to court. Now, moving on to Botch and Bitter. Botch and Bitter is going on a big rant on social media because Downside is flopping on the charts. So, she got to find a way to cause attention and controversy.
A tweet. There's a whole fucking female talking about if Cardi's the blueprint, why can't she keep a man? First of all, babe, I was married for 7 years. A nigga put a fucking $500,000 ring on my fucking finger 2 times. So I don't know what you're talking about. I left. A nigga didn't left me. I left. Then I have a nigga right now that love me down. protect me down, love me down, fly to me every fucking weekend. Like, please. Bitch, a man don't make me. I make a lot of bread, but a nigga know how he gotta come over here. I am a talented, rich, bad bitch. A creative bad bitch. I'm good at everything that I fucking do. I'm looking for a nigga that is a partner. If a nigga's spoiling me down, I'm also gonna spoil him down too. Like, you see how I give it up. I never wanted to depend on a man.
Now, one thing you can always expect from Cardi B is her to be absolutely fucking delusional. She says she's talented. That's how I know she's not in the right state of mind. Talented where? Okay? How can you be talented but you don't write your own music? Okay, the bars never hit. Your recent song just flopped. The face is on Floppiana. You done had 15 different surgeries talking about you a bad bitch. No, you a bad witch, okay? That voodoo that you try to do on Nicki Minaj, it didn't work. But it definitely took a toll on you, okay? Because your career has been downhill ever since, okay? Outside is trash, and that's why nobody's listening to the song anymore. And because nobody cares about your music anymore, you tried to get attention by attaching yourself to Nicki Minaj. It didn't work. So now you're going back to ranting. Now, moving on from that, fans are calling Nicki Minaj broke because she said that she might go on Kick or Twitch, which is a platform that streamers use. Now, Nicki Minaj has clapped back and she said buying another mansion as we speak. It would be the third in 2 years. That's besides the property I bought for others for 15 years. Catch up, ugly. If tomorrow I wake up and want maybe 20 to 30 M's, all I have to do is hand in my album, Silly Rabbit. Then I'll tour again and gross another 100. Do you realize this is Nicki Minaj? It's just production from Bot Nation, it seems. Justice for Demore, Deseret Perez may need an evaluation if she did all this cuckoo shit to her daughter. Like watching your adult daughter having sex. IDK, man. If that's true, send that hoe to the mental asylum and leave her ugly ass in there forever. Okay? So she's clapping back at the fans that says she is broke, okay? And, you know, she believes that this narrative is being pushed by Deseret in Devil Nation. So let me know how y'all feel about it. I don't think Nicki Minaj is broke, okay? She just did a tour. So, you know, it's going to be interesting to see her on Kick and Twitch. I don't really watch streamers. That's really not my forte. But I'm sure Nicki Minaj is probably going to break records over there if she do start streaming over there. I can definitely see other female rappers following suit, but I believe Doja Cat, wasn't she on Twitch or a stream with them racist white people? Okay, Doja Cat has streamed with the racists before too. So let me know how y'all feel about that. Now, unfortunately, Halle Bailey is getting body shamed. You know, she was spotted on a boat with a new man a few weeks ago, or maybe, a few weeks ago. And, you know, people were clowning her body then when she had on a bikini. But now fans are saying that she ate Halo. Like, now people are clowning her looks because of doodle garbage. Probably a lot of his fans. Now, here's the thing. She talked about having postpartum. She probably really stressed. People that are stressed all the time, sometimes they eat, you know, instead of, you know, working out or doing something healthy. Sometimes when people are really stressed, they actually eat more. So that could be the case. And she went through postpartum depression. So I do feel as though she do deserve some sort of you know, grace. I feel like people going hard on her because she felt that restraining order on doodle garbage. And there's a lot of weird incel, young, obnoxious Andrew Tate fans that always have to come for women. Okay? It's cool to like drag women when you're a grown ass man, or even like a 19-year-old loser, probably not in college or doing anything with their lives. There's a lot of losers, especially a lot of loser men in the world that always got to drag women. So with that being said, I think we need to show Halle some grace because obviously she's going through something, okay? Any woman that attaches themselves to doodle garbage is going to be going through it because he's a clown. Now, Tyla released her new hit single called Is It? And I'll be honest with you, the song sounds fire to me. I'm like, Tyla doing her big one yet again. Because in my opinion, the song sounds fire, but I don't feel like she's going to get the support that she deserves because at the end of the day, I think people are not really intrigued by Tyla. She makes good music, but she seems pretty boring. She's not captivating. I don't think she has a lot of star power. But in my opinion, I do feel like she does have talent. So the song Is It does sound fire to me. Now, moving on to Justin. He put out an album. And I'm gonna be honest with you, like, you know, I try not to go hard on Justin. That's why I really haven't been talking about him lately. But I'm gonna be honest with you, the album is trash. I mean, he sounded terrible. Now, I'm not trying to go hard on JB, but was the album mixed and mastered correctly? I'm trying to figure that out. Because I'll be honest with you, all the songs, especially the Sexy Red collaboration, sounded a stinking hot mess. I mean, I don't know if Justin was high as a kite when he went to the studio, but he sounded a fucking mess. He sounded a mess. He sounded like a crackhead was putting out a mixtape. I'll be honest with you, I didn't like one song, and I'm not trying to be a hater, but it just sounded terrible. I think Haley done put a spell on him. That's my theory, or he's cloned, because there's just no way he put this album out and thought that the album was fire. There's no way. Now, in hindsight, Justin only really put out this album because Def Jam made him, because Def Jam was trying to sabotage the clips. Because they dropped the clips last year because of the Kung Fu Kenny verse. Okay, that's on Whips and Chains. So I get he was probably forced to do this surprise drop. And it was not planned, but it just sounded a hot mess. I mean, I couldn't even stop laughing when I was listening to it. It sounded like a parody. I didn't really think that this was the real album. I mean, he... Sorry. After 4 years, this is the best you can do? After 4 years, this is the best you can do after 4 years, Justin. I'm gonna have to give you 50,000 lashes. I'm sorry. This is unacceptable. I mean, you doing collaborations with Lil B, Sexy Red, and Drewski? Like, come on now, Justin. Justin done fell off. Okay, I think Haley put a spell on him, or he's cloned. This can't be the real Justin. And then he had the audacity to copy Kung Fu Kenny. I should slap the shit out of this man. You will never be the king of rap. Be original. You had not put out an album in 4 to 5 years, and you go and try to grab Kung Fu Kenny's nachos and try to copy his pictures for your little promo. Oh, hell no. Okay, Justin, that was uncalled for. I didn't like that. So you leave Kung Fu Kenny's nachos alone. You'll never be him. This album was a hot, stinking mess. Okay, all I can do is laugh because honestly, I shouldn't even be shocked. This is why I like Justin Timberlake. Now, let's talk about the Clips album briefly. So, with that being said, I did listen to the album, you know, when it officially came out because, you know, I don't like to listen to leaked songs. But with that being said, I did like some of the songs on this album. Now, are these hit records? No. But they're really good rap records, and we gotta give props for that. Birds Don't Sing, featuring John Legend, a bop. Chains and Whips, bop. So Be It, Part 2, fire. I like the song with Pharrell. I think that's called All Things Considered. Okay, that was a fire record too. But here's the thing, you know, Pusha, he might not go number one on, the album chart because Justin, Def Jam, Champagne Thickums have sabotaged him. But, I think that the album was pretty solid. I would give it an 8 out of 10. Okay? Much better than what I heard, previously. Much better than the Justin Bieber album, for sure. But it's a rap record. So, we can't really compare two talented MCs to a crackhead pop star. No shade. Now, moving on to Camel Face. Now, Camel Face finally has publicly responded to the lawsuit that his son has filed against him. Not Sir, but Ramir, who's 30 plus years old and allegedly Camel Face's son. Camel Face slept with Ramir's mother when she was allegedly a minor. And, that's why he doesn't want to claim Ramir as his child, because that tea will get spilled. But Camel Face is calling the recent federal lawsuit brought by Ramir as decades-long harassment. He's saying he's being harassed by Ramir. He has asked the court for additional time to put together his official response. His lawyer argued that Camel Face will be irreparably prejudiced without additional time to evaluate and prepare his response to the complaint. The Devil Nation founder attorney said that they contacted Ramir's caregiver to request additional time to respond, but she hung up on them. Camel Face was ordered to respond by July 18th to 2 lawsuits alleging deceit by concealment, abuse of process, intentional infliction of emotional distress, negligent infliction of emotional distress, and unjust enrichment in connection with pursuit of paternity for Ramir. Okay, so Ramir wants Camel Face to do a paternity test. Camel Face does not want to do that because that child is really his, and then he's going to look like a deadbeat. But with that being said, I think he's only publicly really talking about this because Nicki Minaj basically put it out to the public. Okay, now it was already being talked about. I talked about this several times on Patreon, but the point of the matter is that, the general public don't really be talking about a lot of Camel Face's lawsuits. So this does not look good for Camel Face. But my whole thing is, I understand that Ramir probably wants a coin from Camel Face, but, if you 35 plus and your father don't want to be in your life, I mean, what is there to really do? Okay, because you're not going to get millions from Camel Face, even if this lawsuit goes forward. And the reason why you're not going to get millions because you 30 plus years old. If you was like 16, 15, if your mother had gotten, a good lawyer and went to court maybe 20 years ago, then, you might have had a chance. But I just feel like when you 30 plus years old and your father don't want to be in your life and take a DNA test, what can you really do? Obviously, I know you want a coin, but you ain't going to get much of a coin. You about 35 years old. Like, we got to think logically. Like, what's the point of trying to, get your father to do a DNA test when you're 40? Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. Now, before I let y'all go, because I don't want to make the video too long, but I'm going to need y'all to do me a really big favor. Okay, and I never ask y'all for anything. I'm going to need y'all to vote tonight, 10:30 Eastern Standard Time, 7:30 Pacific Time for Nick and Alandria on Love Island. Okay? Now, if you don't watch Love Island, you don't need to. Just vote for Nick and Alandria. You don't need to vote for anything else. Okay? We're not going to talk about the other couples because that's irrelevant. Just vote 10:30. Put your alarm on to 10:30 Eastern Standard Time, 7:30 Pacific Time. Okay, and vote for Nick and Alandria only. Anybody else is irrelevant right now. Okay, no shade, but this is what I need y'all to do. Everybody that's watching the video. Okay, just tonight, make sure that y'all vote. If you don't vote, it just shows a lack in your character. If you vote for anybody else, it shows a lack in your character. No shade. So with that being said, I need y'all to vote for this couple only. Nobody else. And if you have multiple devices, vote for this couple again. Thank you guys in advance. I got some very hot tea on Patreon. Link will be in the description. And I hope you have a great day.